Hello, welcome and welcome back, you wonderful viewers. I'm your host, Blue Dragon of Blue Dragon Games, and today we're answering the question of can you beat Fallout 3 using only Lincoln's Repeater? Now this run was recommended by someone very close to me, and you know exactly who you are if you're watching this. Happy belated birthday. This should be coming out just 2 days afterwards. Thank you for the suggestion. I don't apologize, however, for making this harder on myself. The rules of the run are as follows. I am only allowed to attack using the Lincoln Repeater, outside of the tutorial Red Roach. That is because I am not sure a child or a baby, which you can escape the vault with on PC using a glitch, can actually reach the repeater. I named myself a funny reference and set my special for a moderately tanky ranged build with a good bit of luck. But back to the rules. Only the Lincoln Repeater outside of the tutorial, so I can leave the vault as an adult. No glitches or exploits, which means no matter what, I'd still have to do the tutorial, because not doing it is a glitch. It's with the collision and the quick save quick load button. And 3. No cheating or console commands out that give me a gameplay advantage I could not obtain by taking more time. Namely, later on in the run, I use console commands to effectively buy 44 ammunition. This does not benefit me in-game any more than waiting 3 days and fast traveling around the map to go to the Merchant's Wood, because I'm still paying the same price. It does, however, benefit me in that out of the 6 hours total this run took, almost a third of it was spent just waiting and buying ammo. So that decision was just to save myself hard drive space in preparation for the end of the run. Through this yapping, you'll notice I have started the vault escape without killing anybody. It's easy to claim I didn't do anything during the vault escape to break the rules, but I wanted to show that I didn't break the rules. This is pretty much how the run goes until I get the repeater. I can't attack, I am just left running away whenever anything wants to kill me. Spent some time talking to Amada, being nice, and I forget to make an exit save. And here we are at the Museum of History. I am skipping over the entire trek to get here because I beelined for the Museum of History. I did not do anything but disarm the Megaton bomb, which is why I set explosives as a tag skill. This was probably the hardest part of the base game. I have limited supplies, no weapon, and I don't actually know where the repeater is in the building. I know it's in this general area of the building, the one named region I entered, but I don't know where at this point in time. Because this run is my first ever time even obtaining the repeater. Yeah, I really put myself through a challenge. Well, I am going for the repeater. Let's say a few things about it. It is the strongest precision small guns weapon in the game, in terms of pure, raw damage per projectile. With a magazine capacity of 15 rounds and very good accuracy. However, it doesn't have a scope, which makes it difficult to use at range. Because you're just left using the default zoom that Fallout 3 has, because there's no iron sights in Fallout 3 you can use. Which would make using the repeater at range slightly easier, and I wish that was an option. The Lincoln's repeater exclusively takes 44 rounds. It was originally not going to take 44 and was instead meant to take, I do believe, 38 special, the closest historical equivalent, the closest equivalent in engine, thanks to New Vegas, to the repeater, to what it would have used in real life. However, Bethesda did not program in this special ammunition, as it would only be used for the repeater, and there was no point in doing that. Unlike with power weapons such as the Fat Man, that do require special ammunition for balance purposes. And here we have the first real test of the repeater for early game. The Super Duper Mart section of the Wasteland Survival Guide quest, for some easy supplies and easy XP early on. And let me get a feel for using the repeater. As I said earlier, I've never used it before. This run was my first experience with it. And I think that's rather self-evident, especially early on, with how inaccurate I can be. When it comes to Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I typically play either a build based around fast-firing weapons that don't require as much precision, or melee and unarmed builds, which require zero range precision because I'm running in Kushenki. So this was a pretty fun change of pace. And we're skipping right along to where we meet Sarah Lyon and the Lion's Pride for the first time. The super mutants outside Galaxy News Radio. Because not all that much happened between the Super Duper Mart and here. I decided to make this a challenge because Lincoln's repeater is, as I stated, the best precision small guns weapon in the game, that I would not skip through the main quest line. And outside of interacting with Moriarty, because you can just read the entry on your father on his terminal in his bar. That is unintended. That is an intended solution in the game for you to be able to do that, and to get the information from it. So I went through Galaxy News Radio. So I'll go through I went through the main quest as you're supposed to do. Also, partially because it's been a while since I played Fallout 3, so I didn't want to skip my way through it. The Lincoln's repeater is a very strong weapon. I wanted to enjoy it. point my time with it. Unlike the baseball bat run, which I wanted it to be over as quickly as possible. And here you can see I've kind of found like the use for the repeater as a mid-range precision weapon. Unfortunately, you don't get this mid to long-range combat very often in Fallout 3. And it's time for my favorite set piece in Fallout 3. The Super Mutant Behemoth, outside of the Galaxy News Radio version. This might honestly be my favorite set piece in any Fallout game. And one of my favorite in gaming as a whole. Now, this isn't a nostalgia thing. I didn't play Fallout 3 until I was already an adult. Well over a decade after it released. No, this is just such a cool set piece. It's a big battle that, yeah, if you're smart, is zero risk, and you can just wait your way through it like a dragon priest in Skyrim during many fights. However, this is the biggest enemy in the game. It explodes through like a crashed bus to get at you, and you're fighting it with an entire squad of Brotherhood paladins. Like, it's just so cool. And now it's time to talk to 4Cat. To try convincing him to tell me where my dad is. Unfortunately, I failed the speech check. No, unlike pickpocketing the Overseer, I'm not going to save Scum on my way to just get the location early. Like, I attempt to check, but I'm not gonna save some. Because that's not really in the spirit of the run. Pickpocketing the Overseer was because I didn't have the skills in order to just bypass doing that, and I couldn't kill him to loot him. And time for us to get the Virgo 2 dish. And this kind of shows that basic super mutants aren't much of a threat to this character. Like, the basic ones aren't a problem. They're like 2 to 3 shots at most. But coming up is a crash I actually recorded right there. And this is part of why I haven't done a whole lot of Fallout 3 runs. It's not that I dislike it, because I love it. It's one of my favorite Fallout games. And one of my favorite Bethesda games. Games in general. It's that it's always been at least somewhat unstable for me. Crashing and freezing. It used to be that I couldn't even actually complete the main quest because it would always crash when the Enclave arrived at Project Purity. Like, that's why there's not a whole lot of Fallout 3 videos on the channel. You know, it's just a bit temperamental with me recording it. Now we're at the Washington Monument to install the dish. this is where I'm going to take the time about halfway through the video to remind you, have a drink. And if you've made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're on mobile, well, hype the video. It helps the channel grow, and helps make sure that you can see more challenge runs like this in the future. Thank you. Truly. I enjoy making these runs, so I hope you can enjoy watching them as much as I enjoy making them. And now we're back to Five Swine, and we inform him that we have installed the radio dish. And he gives me the location to Rivet City. If you already know where you're going, you can completely skip talking to Three Dog. Ever. You don't have to actually interact with him to beat the game. But the story wants you to talk to him to meet the Brotherhood. And now it's time to clear out the Purifier of the Super Mutants. We're doing this before Dad and the scientists, because while it's not necessarily the intended route, I am going to have to do this next anyway, after Vault 112, so I figured I'd get it out of the way. It's still part of the main quest, I'm just doing it early because it doesn't matter if you do it early. Really, other than making it both slightly easier, because I'm dealing with the lower level super mutants, and slightly harder because I don't have any allies to kill them with me. But that's fine. Plenty of good XP, a good amount of loot, hunting rifles, ammo I can sell. All in all, it's not a bad trade-off. And this also kind of makes it clear I haven't really played Fallout 3 in a while. And it's my least played out of the 3D Fallout games. Within the last year or two. Here's my second favorite of them, and it's a very close second favorite, in fact. New Vegas, as you can probably tell, is number one, due to how many videos of it are on the channel. This is partially because it's just Fallout 3 with a lot of useful quality of life improvements that I really enjoy. Add some more variety. But Fallout 3 is a very, very close second. And I do love it. Don't take it not being my favorite of the 3D Fallouts as me not liking it. It's my second favorite. I love it. I love it so much. It is fantastic. I've just had more time with New Vegas to fall for. And we damn Ember on to Communist Hell. To Communist Cyber Hell as we get on to the Enclave. And my favorite gag, Colonel Father. Did I do this gag just to justify the thumbnail? Yes. Yes, I did. And that cut was me cutting out me trying to pull off an exploit that doesn't really benefit me in this run. But it's possible to turn your camera in such a way you can loot Colonel Autumn, in the rotunda. And it's the only way to get his unique 10mm pistol. Also, you've probably noticed by this point, if you're not using this as background noise, my HUD is blue. Because I like the blue. But I call myself Blue Dragon Games. Obviously, I like blue. Also, especially in like Fallout 3, everything is really green. Like, I get that it's supposed to be green, especially outside, but the blue just makes it easier on me to tell where I'm aiming and reading the HUD. If you don't like it, yeah, that's your opinion. I do. So I'm keeping it. And into Murder Pass. Because you don't need to see me getting power armor training and talking with the scribes and whatnot to get the location. Like, that's just the boring stuff that takes forever. But this is a weapon restricted run. You want to see the weapon. Yes, this is very sped up because this section is very long. But it's also a good showing of Lincoln's repeater. And also, there really isn't a combat section in Raven Rock because I use so much ammo here in the vault. Fuck the Fox, free Fox, because I'm not an asshole. And Fox is a bro, and I'm down to 60 rounds of ammo that comes in like anywhere between 5 to 20 rounds per shop inventory. And this is before I decided to use console commands to effectively buy ammo in preparation for the endgame, which you will be able to tell from my ammo count later when I made that choice. And straight on to Project Impurity, because I've already included Liberty Prime in a Fallout 3 video. I'm not doing it again. It just takes forever, it's long, it's boring thing to watch. Yeah, it's a cool sequence to play every once in a while, but, like, it's not relevant because Liberty Prime does all the work. So there's no point in really including it, because we're already 23 minutes into a 32-minute video. Like, I don't have anything that needs said that needs that much extra padding. Especially as we're moving on to the highest effort gag in this entire video. More Colonel Father. Abigail Lincoln just shot Colonel Father in the face with a lever-action rifle. How's that for 2x4 technology? And finish with the Enclave soldiers. Talk with Sarah Lyons. And I volunteer to do my best Jesus impression, Broken Steel loads, spoiling that while yes, you can beat Fallout 3 using only the Lincoln's repeater, now we move on to the question, can you beat Fallout 3 Broken Steel with only the Lincoln's repeater? I'm going to be honest, I wish I didn't add this onto the challenge. I thought Fallout 3 with just Lincoln's repeater wouldn't be challenging enough to call it a challenge run. So I decided to also have to beat the DLC I've only ever played once in the multiple years I have owned Fallout 3. Like, even watching this through, doing the voiceover, and sped up, it was a slog. It's not a long DLC. Like, it took me 2 hours total. Right. Like, it's not long. It's a really short DLC. However, it's all tight-knit, compact combat encounters. Against a lot of enemies, and that really eats through your resources. Like, it's not nearly as bad without weapon restrictions, obviously. But I'm not doing this DLC again unless I'm doing a run that absolutely requires me to include this DLC. For whatever reason. I don't like Broken Steel. I think it is possibly the worst Fallout DLC. At least that I've played. And I've played Dead Money. I've played all the New Vegas DLC. I just specify Dead Money because it's my least favorite. I hate the instant death gimmicks. Sue me. But don't, because I'm broke. Fighting Deathclaws in tunnels. If this was New Vegas, I'd have shit my pants. Luckily, it isn't, so my power armor is actually useful in defending against them. Thank fuck. There are so many Deathclaws down here. There's so many Deathclaws. Like, there's a reason I refuse to do this DLC in the baseball bat challenge. And it's not just the fact that I fucking hate Broken Steel. I'm not taking on a bunch of Deathclaws with a baseball bat. And I'm stealing Zeus's butt plug. Into what I think is one of my better done transitions. Of flash of lightning into white screen into train ride. I'm rather proud of the transitions I've done this video. Oh, when the footage. And, yeah. If you are sensitive to flashing lights, definitely look away from the screen. This is very much sped up. Even at 10 times speed, I want to say, this is still a slog to get through. It's such a slog, there's gonna be another quiet moment as I take a drink. But, yeah, this quest specifically is why I allowed myself to effectively buy ammo with commands. Because all it did was allow me to do this quest sooner. I had the caps already. Ready. Yeah, I just cut out hours of extra time that it would have taken to wait, fast travel, go through load zones, by maybe 20, if I'm really lucky, 30 rounds at a time. But, like, I will say, one neat thing about Broken Steel is the fact you can find, like, alien power cells in Adams Air Force Base, which I think is kind of neat. And I really do like the Tesla cannon you're given. Like, I love the Tesla cannon. It is my favorite Tesla cannon in the franchise. Even more so, especially than the New Vegas one. But with this, yes, you can in fact beat Fallout 3 Brotherhood of Broken Steel with only the Lincoln's repeater. There's still a couple minutes left of the video. So again, I'm going to ask if you made it this far and you like what you've seen, to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell notification to get notifications when I upload. And if you are on mobile, hype the video. It really pushes it in the algorithm and helps the channel grow. And please, leave suggestions for a Fallout New Vegas, or a Fallout 3, or an Oblivion challenge run in the comments. Or a Pokemon challenge run, if it's anything from Gen 5 or earlier, on, like, a main series game. But I am your host, Blue Dragon of Blue Dragon Games. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.